Waking up in Boston town, best pups in the city all around. Let's get that tail wagging right, making every good day so bright. It's the Common Dog Podcast. Yeah, the Common Dog Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Common Dog Podcast. I'm Laura Jb, your host, and today I'm here with JB, my general manager, and Sabrina, my desk manager, and Maximus. Maximus has been coming to the Common Dog since he was a baby. How old is Maximus now? He just had a birthday, didn't he?
He has a birthday tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
He's going to be 12.
12.
And I think we got him when he was 6 months.
Yeah, he's a baby. So Mom went to Aruba and fell in love with Maximus and decided to adopt him and bring him home. He's what we refer to as an island dog. So when you go to Aruba or Barbados or Bermuda or St. Lucia or any of those islands down the Caribbean, you'll see a lot of dogs that look very similar. They're different colors, you know, from white to black and everything in between, but they all have very similar body composition and they look like this. Yes.
You know, it's a fun fact that I've learned about the island dogs is one of their main sources of food is lizards.
Lizards.
So they actually have gained muscles or tendons or something in their back legs to help them jump and be more springy.
Oh, to catch those suckers when they're trying to run up the tree.
Yep.
Nice. Did you go boy? So Maximus did a board and train with us years and years and years ago. And it was very successful. Did a great job. But what we're here to talk about today is what happens after the board and train. You want to expound upon that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So when we have a board and train, obviously, we do a lot of work in-house, and that's, for me, honestly, it's probably more the easy part of the whole situation. And the go home and the afterwards is much more difficult in terms of upkeep, right? So, because we have to then train you. We have to train the owner how to do what we did with the dog over the last 3 weeks, right?
And usually that's way harder.
It's
you
way
know,
harder.
honestly, when we do our board and train, it's if it's a dog that we know, it's certainly quite a bit easier and a shorter duration. But with a dog that we don't know, the first few days are really forging a relationship with the dog, but thereafter it's determining what works best for the dog, what are their hot buttons, what are the owner's goals, and getting towards those goals in a structured fashion, right?
Yeah.
Working on our relationship with the dog, because we're relationship-based trainers, to ensure that we can get the dog where they need to be in order for the owner to take over and start to see the same results.
Right, and we have 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 4 weeks,
4 weeks,
whatever,
yeah, depending.
with the dog that we're undoing their behaviors, and we're constantly working with the dog. Now we have to undo the owner's behaviors that they've been doing with their dog, and that's harder to do, right?
When we say undo behaviors, I mean, realistically, I think what most people, when they do training with us, whether it's a board and train or it's just a private one-on-one session or whatever, or even our classes, they don't realize that so many of the things that they do at home can really make things more difficult for their dog and harder for them to achieve what their goals are for their dog.
Or it's
like,
not the right way to communicate with them.
so many things that they're doing, like talking to the dog, constantly touching the dog, treating the dog like a human, really makes it so much more difficult for the dog to exist, period, right? So let's say you have a dog that has really bad separation anxiety. One of the primary reasons we'll take a board and train for that dog is because they have separation anxiety and they need a reboot, quite literally, from their owner, right? They need to learn how to stand on their own four paws, as it were. But the hardest part for us as trainers is training the owner what not to do or what to stop doing with their dog, which is making the separation anxiety worse.
Right.
And that's where I always say, I'm like, that's where the real training starts.
Right.
Because the dog is mostly there by the time the board and train is done, but training the owner is much more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's not linear either. So, you know, we do one lesson when they pick up. We do multiple in-homes after the fact. Usually it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's 2 weeks out. Sometimes it's like within the week we want to get out there. It just really depends on what's going on. But that portion of things is probably the most important part. And on top of that, all of our clients have access to whoever their trainer was during that time. They will have my cell phone number, your cell phone number, your cell phone number, so that if there's an issue, they can text us, call us, be like, I'm dealing with this, what do I do? I can say, hey, try A, B, C. If that doesn't
partly
work.
because we know their dog.
Right.
We now have a really good relationship with their dogs. When your dog does a board and train, we really know the dog really, really well. So a lot of issues that you might have, that a client might have in the first day or a couple days or week even, you can just call us, send us a video, send us a text. A lot of those we can just give some quick advice over the phone. But to your point, sometimes you've got a dog that's a little more assertive or just quirky, right? So we may have to schedule that first in-home session
Faster.
sooner, right? But just like, you know, dogs, everybody, all of them are individuals, or just like people, I meant to say, they're all individuals, right? We all have our different little quirky things going on. Yeah. So, and to that end, in terms of clients who have done pretty much any training with us, but especially board and trains, we do 1 to 3 in-homes depending on how things are going, what the goals are that the client is trying to achieve. So we come to your house after we do a board and train, and we help you get through a few different sticky points, right? First sticky point would be like, okay, let's just make sure that he's giving you everything that he gave us when he was with us, right? And that can change your goals a little bit. Maybe your goals get pushed a little higher because you as the owner are like, wow, I never knew my dog could do this. Maybe we should try for this goal. Maybe we should try for this goal.
That's definitely happened before.
Happens a lot. It happens a lot. Like, you know, people are like, oh, I can't ever walk my dog. Now they're like, not only can I walk my dog, but I want to walk my dog and meet my friends and have my dog hold a dog's downstay, even though their dog is being crazy on the end of the leash. Then I can say, hey, you should go check out the common dog and have your dog trained. I've had that exact conversation with clients. So, but realistically, it all depends on the dog, what the timing frame is, and how things are going. So that's the first, and the owner skill set and so forth. And then the next sticking point would be that regression period, that textbook regression period. I have a hair on my face. I can feel it.
Thanks, Max.
Oh, he's shedding like crazy.
It's crazy.
Whee! So it's textbook. Your dog is going to come home from your board and train, from our board and train, and be doing all the things, and you're going to be so impressed, and you're going to be doing your homework, and everything's going to be going really, really well and great, and you're so happy, and you're going to be like singing our praises and posting on social media, look at my dog, he's so great. And then one day you're going to wake up and your dog won't sit. Like you're like, Ruffy, sit, right? And Ruffy's like, I'm done with this. I don't feel like doing this anymore. They start to push the boundaries. They start to go back to testing. It is regression. It is very normal. It happens with almost every dog. And that's when we come to your house again. That's when we come back
and we help push you through it.
Yeah, we push you through. We help push you through it. We help shape it. We help mold it a little bit, point you in a different direction, give you some new techniques to try, and that usually nips it in the bud, and you're back off to the races. But with our clients, we really love to point out the fact that if you don't stumble at all, you're probably not pushing the dog enough, right? If you're not stumbling in any way, shape, or form, I want to see it. So even if everything's going great, really, really well, I want to come to your house. Let's say it's been 2 weeks since your board and train ended. I want to come to your house and you can do the whole dog and pony show and show me how great things are going. And from that, I will still be able to help shape and mold the direction you're going in. Maybe we do need to make our goals more lofty because your dog is just doing awesome. And there's nothing to really tweak or change. So hey, maybe we try to do some more advanced training, which is cool, fun stuff, and you get to look really cool, like, you know, telling your dog way out in front of you to stop and sit and down and roll over and do stupid pet tricks, and like, you know, the stuff that everybody likes and is fun. You have to have a really good bonded relationship with your dog in a structured training environment in order to get to that level of training, for sure. So
you finally have gotten to see the after.
Yes.
What was your like biggest takeaway from the last session that you guys went to?
I think my biggest takeaway is, maybe not my biggest takeaway, but my most observed thing is seeing the surprise on the owners when they actually can see what their dog can do.
Yeah.
Because it almost, it's like there's some doubtfulness to them, but then once they see their dog do it, it's like, wow.
I love when I've sent like a video of something to a client and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is where our bar is.
This is where we are.
Like,
this isn't a video of, wow, look at what happened.
But like they're like amazed that the dog can just stand there while there's another dog or whatever. And I'm like, your bar is like way down here. I'm like, your bar should be a little bit higher.
It should be higher.
A little bit higher. Like, your dog can do a little bit more than I think you think that they can.
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot. And
Yeah.
then they're like amazed.
Right.
Like, I keep wanting to, I think Papa can be pushed a little bit further than where he is. And we were shocked that he did as well as he did with the age that he was. Right. So, you know, that happens a lot as well.
Well, and we just did an in-home together with a family, and they have 2 dogs, litter mates, which is always difficult. It's always hard. Yeah, I don't get litter mates. I know the idea of having, you know, siblings together would be so cool and so fun, and they'll have their best friend with them. It is so hard.
She knows.
Oh my gosh, I know. I made the mistake. 2 cute boxers. Oh my Lord! They're in a day that I did not regret it. I was like, wow, this is just this is like 3 times as much work.
Yeah.
As having just 1 dog. So
because it's one more extra dog, and then also they
the
just
mayhem that
behave
they create
differently with each other.
Yeah, because they don't want to listen to you. They want to have that pack mentality and listen to each other. Or not listen to each other and fight and be crazy and ruin your house.
Yep.
But it was what I found, what I always find interesting, but it was really cool to do an in-home with you, is the look on your face watching the family kind of go, oh wow, look at what they can do. Like, you were just beaming with pride, and you were like, yep, I trained those dogs to do that. That was me.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling.
It is. It's really cool. And you know how much you've helped that family own these dogs, right? Before, they were living in fear that this dog was going to get out of the house and go bite somebody, and now they actually feel they have some level of control right now, today, and they're moving towards an even better day as long as they keep doing their homework of, wow, we can have these 2 dogs and have a normal life. Like, we can have a party and our dogs will listen to us and they'll be cool, and we get to
actually ended up being the result for them.
Right.
So that was really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that'll stick with you. Like, Max was the first dog that I watched get trained when you took him 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
And getting to see the before and after, like, in person, that was what gave me him, and we had that Cocker Spaniel that gave me the training bug.
Yeah.
2 very, like, human aggressive cases too. That they ended up resulting in, both of them were in group at one point.
Both of them did daycare. Both of them were, you know,
as Max got a little older, he got a little less.
Well, he
patient.
aged out.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's pretty normal.
He still comes here and boards with us and hangs and so forth. But but there, you know, like a lot of dogs, he was like, okay, I'm sort of over the daycare thing. I don't want dogs jumping on me and I don't want puppies trying to play with me, or even, you know, when we separate by age, which we try to do, because we separate by size and temperament for our enrichment daycare. But that being said, like, even some of the 4
or 5 year old
dogs. The middle-aged dogs are like, I am so done with this puppy. But he was, you know, he was such a success story, and we have so many success stories in terms of dogs that we've worked with over the years. But he was such a difficult dog in the very beginning. He was human aggressive and very untrusting of the human race.
Yep.
Off the streets of an island, having to forage for his own food and fight for the hierarchy in the pack in which he was running, and then he gets adopted and he comes to this plush life. They don't trust it. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. It's and
There's
now
a lot more noise.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff going on.
Yep.
You're basically walking out and
they're
everything's
expected to
different.
be still and know what to do, and they know nothing. They know nothing of this life. So that was really great to be able to help him. The life expectancy of a dog on the streets is very low. So, and he's 12 tomorrow.
Yep.
So really, I guess I trained him when he was like 11 and a half or something. But
11 and a half years ago.
So,
but yeah, and then the nice thing that we are starting to see here is that a lot of our board and trains will, after the board and train, continue with our structured daycare. And what's happening there is that we're seeing less of a dip with the regression. Like it's still there, but it's not going, it's going like a little bit.
It just provides like that stage, that support for the parents. So it's not all on them, right? So after the board and train, we train the owners, that we get them going in the right direction with their pup, but they send their dog here for structured daycare, once, twice a week, and that helps keep them on that path, that to their goals of what they're trying to reach. And I think it really, it expedites it.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little easier for mom and dad.
To get the dogs to places that they didn't think were possible.
Yep.
Like Papa, I keep saying Papa, but
lots of dogs.
He just I can't believe how far.
I mean, look at Danny. Remember Danny? Oh my gosh.
Danny. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Casey, she loves people now.
Well, look at Harley.
Harley,
There's just so many. There's so many dogs.
Yeah.
So many dogs over the years. I mean, you train long enough,
I'll get text messages from some clients. I haven't seen them in 3 or 4 years. And they're like, look at what he did today. These people came over and he didn't lose his mind. And I'm like, because that dog in
Those
particular,
are the things that when you guys are talking about what's your favorite part, it's I haven't heard from someone in 5-6 years, and I get a text out of the blue, or somebody shoots me a video of like, hey, we went to this park yesterday that we've never been to, and Rufus was amazing. Hadn't done a board and train in 6 years. Comes back, does some boarding here and there, so on and so forth.
We have some that'll do refresher board and trains if they're gonna stay the dogs.
Especially if they're having a party, or they've got something they know their pup is gonna kind of struggle with. Having that refresher course, because I always say training is like algebra. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. I don't remember half the math I ever did in school, But seriously, it does. It helps, and it gets renewed enthusiasm for both the dog and the owners.
Yeah, it's like a reset all over again.
Yes.
So when the dogs are here, they're here for an intensive board and train. They're trained all the time. When they go home, how often do you guys think they should still be continuing on that?
Every day. Every day. Just like going to the gym, working out, stretching. You'll have days where you do 5 minutes. 5 minutes of training is better than none. But really you're only looking for 10 or 15 minutes of training. Maybe if you have a really high energy dog, maybe do that once in the morning and once in the afternoon or evening. If you've got, kind of more lazy, laid back dog, maybe just once a day, 12, 15 minutes a day.
I mean, in a perfect world, you'd be training them 3 to 4 times a day, but nobody has that.
Well, lots of people can do that for short stints in terms of working from home. You just stand up and go make that happen.
Yeah.
But even that, 4 times a day, unless you have a super high energy dog like a Mal or an Australian Shepherd, that's too much for most dogs that aren't just bouncing off the walls.
I just figure in every time I tell people when they're on their walk, that is a training session.
That's a training session, yep. So I guess to that point,
yeah. Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. Yes. Then you have owners like me. I've got a huge, I've got about an acre fenced-in yard. I'm just like, off you go. But we do recalls all the time because I'm having to recall her away from chickens and squirrels and chipmunks and birds and snakes and Lord knows what else is in my yard. Don't say snakes. My husband would freak out. There's no snakes in our yard, darling. I promise. None. There's no snakes in the entire state of Massachusetts. But yeah, having that good recall. We just worked with a dog that went home yesterday, and working on recall, being able to recall her away from what she is way too focused on. And I think it went really well. I'm really looking forward to hearing back from the owners to see, you know, if they were kind of getting that same level of focus from her. So, and it's for us, that's like, this training is just fun. Like, it's fun for us all the time. It never gets boring.
We nerd out a lot.
We
We're
totally
like,
nerd
this
out.
dog is really cool. Can you see what he can do? Blah, blah, blah. Like, we're like, this is nuts.
I think the hardest part of training, of being a trainer, especially when you're doing a board and train, is you've got a super high energy dog and they're ready to go off to the races and they just want to bounce off the walls, and then you have a really laid back owner. It's hard to communicate the urgency of, you need to change your relationship with your dog, and partly how you do that is you need to find some energy and some momentum to connect with your dog, because part of the problem that you had is that you don't have enough energy for your dog, so they're not listening to you because you're not meeting them on the same level, or vice versa.
As a trainer, that's always been my, like, I'm just this. Like,
You're pretty.
I'm pretty like this, which is great for a lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs.
More like nervous, like fearful dogs. That's great for. But I lose the like high energy mals, the high energy like field labs that I have to fake being excited.
Not excited, but like, energized. Like, you're just not that person. You're
so
more
I
even
have
keel.
I have to fake it till I make it kind of deal, and it's hard for me. So it's also, I expect, very hard for the client, for them to do it for one dog, right? Yeah. But I'll notice it, like with the one that left yesterday. I was like, I'm boring right now. I'm so boring. She could care less that I'm here. And then I notice that, and I'm like, hey, and then I'll start messing around with her. So, I mean,
you gotta make it fun.
You gotta make
you have
it
to
fun.
keep them interested. Training should be fun, right? For the dog and for everybody involved.
Right.
So, yeah, so for me, it's the opposite, like trying to get myself off of the tippy top of the mountain. I'm like, okay, come down to the village. Chill, be relaxed, be calm, stop moving and talking so fast.
The nice thing about
multiple trainers
is, you know, I'm gonna thrive with, like, you know, your fearful dogs, and you're gonna be better with the
dog who wants to eat
dog
you.
who wants to eat you. Pretty much. You know, so, and that's kind of one of the things I noticed right away when I started training is I'm like really good with your like dogs that get spooked by like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like the two we were talking about, that Cocker Spaniel and Maximus, I had to be a very different trainer for those guys. I had to be calm and chill and relaxed, because even though they were fearful, aggressive, right, I needed to connect with them in a calm way and teach them to be calm, right?
Because dogs like that, they need consistency, and if it's not, like, consistency in the existence, I guess,
structure, like what happens on Tuesday needs to be pretty much the same thing that happens on Thursday, right? And that's partly why dogs that come off the streets are so bats, because they are always at 10, because they always have to be prepared for what's coming around the corner, right? Whereas this life, being a pet, is a completely different life, and you have to literally reset them.
They're like as close to the kitchen as you can.
He's like, I must be in the kitchen. So yeah, it's a different. Maximus, Max, come here, baby. Come sit over here, love.
Oh, good boy.
Come sit with us.
Hi.
Please come here. Is this too hot? You want to lay on the cooler part? Come here. Yes, a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Yes, I love you so much. So, yeah, very, you know, I mean, when I was training predominantly by myself for years, you really have to fake it till you make it, because you have to be or become what the dog needs. Yeah. There is no cookie cutter approach to dog training, because every dog is different. Every dog, when you meet them, is at a different level. To sit there and think that I can only use these methods, or I can only do this kind of training. Well, you're
only use food.
Right, only use food, or only use corrections, or, you know, whatever. There is no only. Right. You have to base your training on the dog's needs, the goals of the owners, and what approach is needed. Yes, you go, boy. What approach is needed? Hello, my love. I love it when you look up at me and cross your eyes. you have to change your approach. And I will tell you, it's a whole lot easier to have other trainers where I can go, here, you're probably better at this than I am. You know, I'm also getting old, so I'm like, I don't have the energy for this. Why don't you, JDO, why don't you go take them for a run? Yeah.
Those are my favorites, the dogs that make me run.
Yes.
I had like...
You hate it.
There was...
You hate running.
I hate running. There was it was Frida, that's how I connected with her.
Running.
Because I couldn't touch her.
Right.
For like 2 days.
It's sort of like this boxer that we have that just came to us recently. And so many boxers and Frenchies and those kind of dogs where if you touch them, it's like a lightning bolt. They're like, yeah, yay, I can jump up and be crazy. Where you're like, very calm, I'm being very zen. We're just sitting here, we're learning to relax. Like you do not need to add anything to those dogs. And trying to teach owners who their dog is after they've had this dog for a while, they're like, sometimes it's a real eye-opener and not a super happy moment where they're like, oh my gosh, I have been doing everything wrong. For example, when you've got a dog that is fear aggressive and your approach was to coddle them and hug them or pick them up away from it makes it exponentially worse. But then to see the guilt and the grief on that owner's face when they realize I was making this so much worse. Yeah. But zing, we have a solution. Now you know what to do. You know, off to the races, helping your dog, and it's going to be quick, right? They're going to be rounding that corner really soon. I have dog hair all over my face at this point.
We don't judge anybody for that stuff because
that's why we have jobs.
Nature.
Right. That's why we have jobs.
It's human nature to coddle the things that are suffering, you know, and you want to make them feel better, and that's the only thing that we know how to do, right? And so it's very natural for us to do. And I always tell people it's not your fault. It's just not your fault.
Well, and it's instinct. As humans, especially as mamas, right? It is instinct to coddle and mollify and try to make the dog feel better, when in reality what we need to be teaching them is independence and how to be self-reliant and confident. So many people think, oh, if that dog is aggressive, oh, that's a really confident dog. Like no, they're usually really, really insecure. I mean, think about the people that you know who are buffoons and egocentric and always over the top. They usually have a very poor self-image. They're trying to make up for something.
One of my favorite analogies is I'll say that the dog's kind of like Regina George from Mean Girls.
Never saw it, of course.
But like, you know, that girl that's constantly told they're pretty all the time and everybody loves them, and she's the meanest one there. Because, you know, she doesn't actually believe it's true, or she has to like hold on to that
that's
feeling.
If your worth is only based on what other people think, that is a very slippery slope. And so if every person treats your dog this specific way, when they act this way, they learn that's the only way they get things. So, you know, I don't want you near my owner because I don't want this person taken away from me, so I'm going to bare my teeth and growl. That is actually not how they want to behave. That is a very difficult position to continue to keep. I mean, I remember with Danny, God, I love that boy, huge pit bull. His head was like this big. I remember, was it you that came in my office and
it was
saw
me or Ann, one of the two
mouth,
of us.
like he yawned, and you were like, oh my gosh. You know, but this was a dog that wouldn't let anyone in her house. No one could get in her house, right? And this is a dog that ended up doing daycare and sloppy wet kisses and loved everybody.
Lana's favorite pillow. Like Lana would lay on him all the time.
Yeah.
She would always lay on him, and he would just let her do it. He was so sweet.
What's our tip today? What's our tip of the day for, since we talked about board and trains and what happens after the board and train? What happens when the dog goes home? What should be our tip of the day for people who are looking for information about this?
I would say work with your dog.
To be consistent.
Be
do it every day.
consistent.
Yeah. I would say find a really good trainer that speaks to you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If they can't show you what their work looks like, if they can't show you beginning and after, if they can't show you testimonials of this trainer, and there's lots of different testimonials as opposed to a cookie cutter approach, this is how everything was done, and keep looking.
If you say you go to you're not around here and you can't come to us, and you go to a trainer and they make you feel like you are the worst, just leave.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Because they have to, the biggest part is training you, right?
If you aren't comfortable with them and they aren't comfortable with it, just leave.
Now, a trainer may tell you things that don't make you happy,
hear,
that you don't
right.
want to hear. But if they're being honest and they have a path for you to go down to find success with your dog, okay, then that
Right.
there's a trainer that I know you just met with someone recently, a much older woman who had recently adopted a dog, and that was a really hard conversation you had, because the conversation was, maybe you have the wrong dog, because this dog was aggressive and was a lot, and she had never had a dog like that before.
Right.
And
She had goofy golden retrievers.
right, and so especially as someone that's getting on in years, that's a big bite to take.
Yeah.
Right, that's a lot to
deal with.
deal with, and
I
so
told
you
her-
were honest.
I told her, I said, I can work with you, but I want you to understand what the realistic view is going to look like with
Right.
this dog in your life.
Yep.
So that because she rescued the dog, I think only like a few weeks before, I want you to understand what you're signing up for, so that you're not expecting this dog is going to be perfect and excellent and awesome and all the things.
That's why we have our discovery meetings. We have a discovery meeting with every client, even dogs that currently come to us. We sit down and talk with the owner about training. Even though we know the owner, we know the dog, we have that professional, let's talk, turkey about what are your goals, what are you trying to do, and what are you experiencing at home, because that dog may be very, very different and is most likely very, very different here. So
Dogs don't
make
humble
sure
you.
you're having good communication with the trainer, that you feel comfortable with them, that they have the ability to show you, hey, this is what I've been doing. I mean, someone that's only been doing it for 6 months, that's, in my opinion, that is way too short of a time for someone to be taking clients on their own. We have our trainers that do interns shadow for a year.
Yeah.
For a year before they get to start training truly on their own.
And
Because
they're not really ever, we're never on our own.
we're always bouncing ideas off of each
I don't
other and
think
trying
I
different
ever-
things on.
As I know that a lot of trainers do work alone. I don't know how they can do that.
Oh, you can do it. I did it for years.
I know you can do it, but I would never.
It's hard.
I would hate it.
It's
I would
hard.
hate it.
And as a really good trainer and you're alone, you need to learn what you can do and what you can't do. As I've gotten older, I can't take those 180-pound king courses anymore that want to eat people. I don't have the agility or the physical strength to do that anymore. That needs to go to a younger person who is able to physically manage if something goes wrong. I'm just getting too old.
Yep. Yep.
So anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Maximus, for joining us today, my love. Yes. And we'll see you next week.